XREAL just released the AO1 Plus glasses, the lightest, brightest display glasses you can buy right now at $299. And that's the exact same price as the RayNeo Air 4 Pro, the pair I've been calling the budget champ since my full review earlier this year. So now, two very different glasses fighting for the same $300 from your pocket. You pick wrong and you'll be stuck with the one that crops your screen every time you glance down. So I wore both, and in this video, I'm gonna show you what the AO1 Plus gets right that honestly surprised me, where the RayNeo still fights back, and by the end, you're gonna know exactly which $300 pair to pull the trigger on. I'll even show you what changes if you spend a bit more. I'm Jason Howell, and I love wearable tech. This is the X by XREAL AO1 Plus, the first product from X by XREAL. This is a new sub-brand sitting under XREAL's flagship stuff. So think cheaper, stylish, and a bit more playful. But quick heads up before we get into it, XREAL did send this pair to me for review. They get zero say over the editorial content of this video. Also, if you find yourself wanting a pair of your own, well, be sure to check the description for my link to purchase. It actually costs you nothing extra, and I earn a small commission that helps support the channel. Hey! Thank you. Oh, and hey, if you'd rather start with my full review of the AO1 Plus on its own, including a very unique unboxing experience, what it's like to live with it, all of it, that's linked below. But today's video is all about the comparison shootout with the RayNeo Air 4 Pro, so let's dive in. We'll start with fit because this jumped out immediately. The RayNeo juts out from the face, kind of noticeably, and the AO1 Plus sits more compact by comparison, more closed in, more like normal glasses, so I'd give the point to XREAL. Also, as you can see, style. The AO1 Plus really just looks so much cooler than the RayNeos, let's be honest. These are kind of dorky by comparison. Plus, the XREALs have this lens swap system that means you could change out the lenses to be more stylish with different options down the line. So point to XREAL. Now for something I really just need to show you so you understand where I'm coming from. With a tall phone like the S26 Ultra in portrait mode, the RayNeo actually crops part of the display at the bottom. The bottom of that tall screen inside of the display gets cut off a bit depending on where the glasses sit on your face. And then even when I rotate to horizontal, the screen still gets cropped down there depending on where those glasses are sitting, right? It's a complaint that I've had in my reviews of the 4 Pro, also the 3S and the Pros. I mean, the entire RayNeo catalog that I've tested suffers from this. Now on the AO1 Plus, I can almost say that doesn't happen, but alas, it does, only more so at the very top of the image. The XREAL doesn't crop for me in horizontal when I move the phone to horizontal, so that's a good thing. But this is hard because it really comes down to the shape of your face and how your eyes line up with the optics. And the different nose plates will help, so you'll have to play around with them. But for me, I give this a slight win to XREAL. Now on raw display quality, honestly, they're both very close. Both 1080p, both as sharp as it looks, right, with 1080p. Outside brightness looked about the same, maybe a hair brighter on the XREAL, but I'm really splitting hairs there. No clear winner here. I'm gonna give it a tie. Now where the AO1 Plus really pulls ahead, and it's not even close, is that stabilization I talked about. The RayNeo simply doesn't have it. And that's been one of my running complaints about the RayNeo. The screen follows you everywhere with every little head bump, you know, all that kind of like random jitter. It gets old over time, I will admit. The AO1 Plus smooths that out with this nice gentle glide into place as you move your head around. It's one key feature that on its own is gonna sell units for XREAL because usually you see this in more expensive units. Point definitely goes to XREAL for that one. Okay, heat. The AO1 Plus ran much cooler for me anyways than the RayNeo Air 4 Pro. And to be honest, cooler than the rest that I've tried. I've reviewed a lot, and these are the coolest in operation, point XREAL. So the AO1 Plus is pretty far ahead of the RayNeo Air 4 Pro at this point, but gotta say, RayNeo did come out ahead on a few aspects, which we will get to. But first, if you're enjoying this side-by-side comparison of two budget beasts in the AR glasses world, please subscribe and give this video a like, or better yet, just drop a comment down below. Let me know how you think these compare to your favorite and thank you. Now I gotta give credit to RayNeo for the audio. Bang & Olufsen partnership for the speakers on board. So the sound is a bit of a step up. Still, you know, we're talking about these tiny speakers on the arms. Not my preference when enjoying media on display glasses, but point to RayNeo for sound. And RayNeo Air 4 Pro also has an extra rocker on the arm. Both arms actually have a rocker, so navigating settings ends up being a little bit easier, a little bit less fiddly than the AO1 Plus's 2 buttons setup. You just have the 2 on the one side, so point for RayNeo. Now, as for Blackout Shield, on the RayNeo, it just kind of slides onto the outside of the lens, whereas on the XREAL, it makes you pop the whole frame off and then pop this back on. It's a little bit more fussy. Both satisfy the purpose of darkening things with minimal fuss, so I would ultimately consider this one a tie. And finally, the carry case. The AO1 Plus has this nice and very durable hard clamshell case. No worries if you throw that into a bag, glasses are gonna be fine. The RayNeos include a flimsy, by comparison, fabric case that I worry a little bit about when I'm packing it away with other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that to XREAL. So adding things up, it looks like XREAL got 6 points, RayNeo got 2 points. Of course, there were a few ties in there, but really on the stuff that I care about most, fit, stabilization, heat, the case, the AO1 Plus delivers. Now, the RayNeo still has the nicer audio story and slightly easier controls, but I really gotta give it to the AO1 Plus in this shootout. Okay, so what do you get if you spend a little bit more? Well, lucky you, because I've reviewed a ton of these and some more costly options, and they do add something important to the picture. Step up to the XREAL One S, right around $450, and you get 2 things that the AO1 Plus doesn't have. Real-time 2D to 3D conversion right inside the glasses across literally everything you put through them, which is a pretty cool trick. And you can pin the display in place, and the lenses also have some auto dimming features as the light in the room changes. The One S is my current daily driver, but definitely not without trade-offs. It's only 700 nits, so it's dimmer than the AO1 Plus, and it runs much warmer at the top than the AO1 Plus did for me, especially because the onboard processor does things like those 3D tricks. Then you have the Viture Beast at around $550, which has the widest field of view of any of the glasses I've tested at 58 degrees. Best auto dimming system on the front lenses that I've tested. Highest resolution at 1200p, which is a step up, but in use, it's not really monumental, let's say. But it's also the heaviest, and it runs pretty hot up at the top. And I hit some pretty annoying display wobble and drift, even though you can actually pin displays in space, which is nice. It does have this camera on the front that isn't active. It's been 6 months since these glasses came out and that camera's still not active. Put the Beast and the One S side by side and I keep reaching for the One S. So more money might buy you 3D, auto dimming, and display pinning, but it doesn't buy you a lighter, brighter, and let's be honest, cooler pair of glasses like the AO1 Plus. So then, at around $300, which one should you buy? The XREAL AO1 Plus or the RayNeo Air 4 Pro? I gotta say, and it probably comes as no surprise, I'm really impressed by the XREALs. The AO1 Plus is my new budget pick to beat, in my opinion. It fits like real glasses. It ran cooler than most, looks cooler than most. The display holds up in daylight, and the stabilization is a genuine feature that you just don't find in this price category. And look, the swappable faceplate aspect is very unique. Yes, XREAL is also planning to release other options that you can swap in there, and they even opened it up for 3D printing custom frames through Maker World. That's pretty rad. If someone hands me $300 today, and let me just say, I would love for that to happen, by the way, and asks what display glasses to buy, no question, I'd buy the AO1 Plus. You can find my link in the description to pick up a pair of your own. I've also dropped links for the RayNeo Air 4 Pro, the XREAL One S, and the Viture Beast down there too. Now, if you find yourself really curious what spending the most on display glasses actually gets you, you'll definitely want to check out my full review of the Viture Beast glasses. I dive deep into its features to see what all the fuss is about. And leave a comment down below. What is one feature you can't live without on glasses like these, no matter the price? I'm Jason Howell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.